So you want to buy your kid a Zipline for Christmas this year, but you don't know what one to pick, what one's going to be best, what one you're going to be able to set up. You just don't know what to do. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm going to break down the different kinds available to buy from Amazon.com and help you choose the one that will put a smile on your kid's face this Christmas. But first, what's up? I'm Jeff, and welcome back to the workshop. Today I'm going to break down the specific things you want to look for when you're researching which Zipline would be best for you, as well as gives you my top picks. When it comes down to Ziplines in the year 2022, there's some different things that set different sorts apart, different categories, if you will. First thing that sets it apart is whether it is a wire or it is a slackline type, which the slackline one is kind of new, but the main benefit of it is super easy to set up. But the drawback is the slackline is made out of nylon. It's a little bit stretchier. Whereas if you want something that's going to be able to support more weight, you're going to want to go with a wire, but that in turn is a little bit more difficult to set up. The second thing you're going to have to decide between is what you're going to ride on as the Zipline rider. The cheapest ones just have like a monkey bar that you're going to hold on to, and then from there they go up to ones that have a swing that you sit on. There's other ones that have handles up here, but then a rope that goes down to like a circular seat that goes between your legs and under, and you sit on there. Some of the more expensive ones have like some sort of strap that straps you in as well. But I think when you get into that, the only reason you'd need that is if your kid's too small to be riding it anyway, or if you're going too fast or too high off the ground, which if you're setting up a backyard zip line, I recommend that you try to keep it as close to the ground as possible. If you have some sort of hill, utilize that so that as you're going down the line, you're never super far off the ground, because that's just going to keep it more safe than trying to buckle yourself into it. I just have a feeling if you use the buckle and then you like start it to fall off, that's just, I don't think that's going to be a very good situation. So I would caution against that. Try to, like I said, keep it as close to the ground as possible without hitting the ground. Third thing to consider is length. Now these come in different sizes, anywhere from like 70 feet up to like 200 feet. Now, riding a zip line in your backyard is similar to sledding, where it's super fun to go further, go longer on a sled, but then you got to trudge all the way back up that hill. And the same thing with a zip line. That ride is going to be more fun, but then you're going to have to pull it all the way back up. And I know if you have several kids, they don't want to be that one that has to grab the thing and pull it all the way back up to the top, only for it to be somebody else's turn. So that's something to consider. Sometimes shorter is better, and even on shorter, like 70-foot one, you're gonna pick up a pretty good amount of speed if it's installed right. And another big thing to consider is you need to have the trees that are the right length apart. So look at how far apart the trees you plan on installing this on are, and that's what you're gonna wanna look for. You're gonna wanna add probably like 10 extra feet to the line in order to go around the circumference of the tree, and then you should be all set. That brings me to my picks as what I would get. I'm gonna break this down into two different categories. The first one is gonna be one that is great for the whole family, and this is going to be one that you can ride along with your kids. You're all going to be able to have a blast. And the one I would pick is the one I have in my backyard. It's the brand CTSC, which I don't know what it stands for, don't ask me, but we've had it for several years now. It is a great high quality zip line, and we've never had any problems with it. It's rated for 250 pounds. I'm about 200, and I can ride it great. I have a system to make sure that I get it tight, which that's something that a lot of people struggle with these wire ones, but I have a very specific system that I have a video on. If you're interested, I'll put that down in the comments, and that'll help you get it tight without having to use any extra tools or have any extra headache. But then upon researching this, if you look at some of the other brands that are comparable, like Slackers or Jugader, however you say that, they all look very, very similar. I'm sure that those are just as good. So if it's between those three brands, I would just pick whichever one is currently the cheapest on Amazon, because the prices of all of them seem to fluctuate, and sometimes one is cheaper. When I bought the CTSC, it was the cheapest one, but currently I think the Jugader, whatever one is the cheapest. So I'm sure that one would work great. I don't have the first-hand experience with it, but from what I can tell, it almost looks identical to the CTSC. All right, and then the second category would be if it's just for your kids. This is not something that you want to try to ride yourself, then I would go with the Ninja Safe Ninja Pulley. This is one of the ones that goes on the slack line. Like I said, this is super easy to set up. You can take it down when you're done with it and put it back up, or I've left it outside all summer and I haven't had any issues with it. It's holding up great. The kids are gonna have a great time on it. They're gonna go pretty fast, but not as fast. It has the swing to ride on, which the kids seem to really prefer that, especially on the younger side. My 2-year-old and my 5-year-old both can use that one without any issues. That one is the one that I would choose if I was looking for one specifically for my kids, because it's a great product, it's easy to set up, and it's just a little bit safer for those youngest zipline riders. So after all that information, I hope that you have a better idea of what kind of zipline you're gonna wanna buy for your kids this Christmas. But if you wanna know more specifically about the difference between the wire and the slackline ziplines, then click on this video right up here. And until next time, get out there, have a fun-sized adventure of your own in your own backyard. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas.